You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are these things, and that's when you know it's official. I'm so glad I don't have to sing that line after 14 years of doing it. Welcome to the show, my family friends. The Chris Voss Show is the family that loves you but doesn't judge you, at least not as harshly as your mother-in-law, because she never liked you anyway. But get her on her good side. Refer her and her family the show. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, and Chris Voss Facebook.com. We have an amazing gentleman on the show today. He's going to be talking about his success and inspiring you with his stories that he's done through his life and what he's done with building his company. We have Stoy Hall. He's a CFP and the CEO and founder of Black Mammoth. He is a distinguished figure in the realm of financial planning, recognized for his innovative approach to wealth management and his dedication to promoting financial literacy. As the CEO, he has carved a niche in the financial industry by focusing on inclusivity, collaboration, and the holistic well-being of his clients. His expertise is not limited to financial advisement. He's also a founder and fund manager at, is that Kalal Capital?
Kala
Capital. There you go. I'm never good when they have those little hyphens over the letters there. I'm still trying to figure out how to say Motley Crue. And his strategic insights drive the firm's success. Welcome to the show, Stoy. How are you?
I appreciate it. I'm doing well. I mean, I'm in Iowa right now. Just got from Orlando. It's sunny here, which is great, but it's 32, so it is what it is.
Now, are you guys based in either of those cities?
Technically, yes, in Iowa, but we're virtual. We're nationwide. We're looking at moving maybe to Denver, Phoenix, but ultimately we're just virtual firm.
There you go. Move to Phoenix. It's warmer.
Oh yeah.
As long as you can deal with the heat. You know, I've lived in Vegas for, I don't know, close to 30 years now, and we don't get as hot as Phoenix. Like, it's an extra 3 to 5 degrees over there, and it gets pretty hot in Vegas. Denver's nice, but that hail, man. You ever seen that hail that they do there? I remember moving to, we had an office. One of our offices was in Denver, and I drove into a 7-Eleven when I first arrived there, and I was laughing because I saw this car that looked like somebody took a ball-peen hammer and hit the top of all of it. And I was like, somebody's kid got a hold of a ball-peen hammer and whacked their vehicle. That's funny as hell. And the guy goes, "You're not from here, are you?" I go, "No." He goes, "No, that's hail damage." I'm like, "What?" And there you go. So give us a .com so people can find you on the interwebs, and a 30,000 overview of what you guys do there at Black Mammoth.
Absolutely. BlackMammoth.com. Super simple. And ultimately, we're here to answer 2 questions for you. And that is, am I good? And do I have your back? Financial planning in general comes down to those 2 things. And that's what we're here to do.
There you go. So tell us about your journey. How long you guys been in business? How did you start it and get down this road?
Yeah, for sure. Business has been around technically for, we're going on 4 years because we started in September 2020. I've been in the industry for 13. And I wanted to, throughout my whole career from insurance to other firms, was create what I have deemed a modern family office. And a lot of people don't exactly know what a family office is, but your ultra high net worth have this entity called a family office. And really what it is, it's a group and a team of professionals that do all the back end things so that they can live their lives the way they want to, in a very simple way. And so I wanted to create that, but I wanted to modernize it so everyday business owners could participate in that, because I ultimately think we all should have a team that has our back and helps us in every situation so we can focus on the things that we're passionate about. And so launched that in September 2020, and here we are.
There you go. And so what are some of the aspects of that family office? What are the services that you provide there?
Yeah, the fun ones, the ones that I get the most giddy about are, everyone has chaos, right? Us business owners, we live in chaos.
We live for chaos.
Exactly. And I love to take that chaos, organize it, and allow them a path forward, right? And then have my team on the back end handle it. For example, one of my clients just moved to Florida within the last year, but her business is still operating in Iowa. And they needed a new vehicle for their staff because they're interior designers, so they travel. Well, she's gone. She's not here. So what I did is I got on the horn, found the vehicle, got the lending lined up. It was able to do everything DocuSign, and that employee was able to pick up that vehicle within 48 hours of them needing it. And that's just one of those things that we're able to do that, a family office can handle for you.
Mm-hmm. You guys, you call it the Mahalo service? Is that correct?
Yep.
There you go. Personal CFO.
Yeah, my family, my wife and I, we love Hawaii. We go for 2 weeks probably every year. And that spirit is just inside of us. And so we tie mahalo and we tie a lot of the aloha spirit involved with that as well. And so our service tiers go from mahalo to personal CFO to ohana within that. And really those are just different tiers of services. Some have more, some have less.
There you go. And so I like that aspect. There you are. Stoy, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
There you go. We had some, I don't know if it's on our end or if it's just the internet in general, but we did a restart real quick. So we'll just edit this and post and paste it all together. I was asking you if there was a minimum net worth that people needed to have to do business with you.
No, not with me, but in the family office realm, typically it's like 25 million net worth ultimately. I've whittled it down to if a business owner is on our lowest tier, it has about a gross income of $200,000-300,000, depending on whatever service it is. That's where it becomes a good return. Outside of that, it might be a little bit of a premium for you.
There you go. There you go. So tell us about some of the other services that you offer at Black Mammoth and aspects. I noticed there's an a la carte service, do-it-yourself services, holistic financial planning. Let's dig into some of that.
Yeah, ultimately what we're trying to do is get all of your financial questions answered one way or another. And I've learned in this industry and just in life that there's two groups of people. Those that want to do it themselves, learn and just do it themselves. And then those that want to learn, but I don't want to touch it, get the hell away from me, just do it for me. And that's what we did. So we've got VIP Day, which is essentially we come in for 3.5 or 6 hours and we go through everything in your financial life, both business and personal, if you have a business. And it's a long day. It's exhausting, but it's there for a reason to be exhausting. Money is emotional. Our emotions are tied to money. They're integrated. And if you don't understand who you are and where that comes from, whether it's money trauma or your first money memory, then you can't really create a plan because you won't follow it. And so that day is designed to do that. Break us all down, get us on the emotional side, and then build us back up within an actual plan. And then we hand it to them and they can go figure it out, go implement it themselves. Or if they turn around, we can always implement it. And then we have a kind of a baby service of that, and that's the Aloha side, where it's not that long because that's a long day, and it's only about an hour and a half, and can really get about the same amount, same work done. Just you're only going to have about 3 tiers of things to do.
There you go. And so it sounds like you have a lot of hands-on concierge type service.
Absolutely, yeah.
There you go. And so people, they're busy, especially if you run a company, you don't have a lot of time for things. And so being able to have someone manage these other aspects. Tell us about how you grew up. How did you get into financial business and get down this road where you finally started your own company?
Yeah, I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska with a dad that wasn't around, a mom that was working 12-hour shifts. At some point, she had her own cleaning business. So that's kind of where I believe the entrepreneur side got to me.
Got the bug.
Right, got the bug. But ultimately, I believe it came down to the fact that I didn't want to live the way I was raised. And that's not a knock on them 100%, but a lot of it came down to just financial education and understanding how the money game works. And so I was lucky enough to be athletically gifted, thought I was going to go pro like we all do. Ended up playing football at Drake University.
Oh, there you go.
Went in to get my accounting degree, took my first accounting exam. And Chris, when I tell you that it was a blank sheet of paper, it was a blank sheet of paper. And what it did to my brain, blanked me out. Ended up getting a 40% on my first accounting exam, said, not for me. Let's go the other route. And so I did, got my degree in finance and minored in business law and insurance. And when I was at school, I worked at the Boys and Girls Club for about 4.5 years. And that is when I figured out we have a financial education problem in our country, is because people don't know how money works ultimately. And I wanted to help that. That's what I've been doing ever since.
credit works, how taking out a mortgage works or a loan, how to balance your checkbook, all that sort of stuff. Like I see some of these, there's a few TikTok accounts. There's one that's really funny that the guy reviews a lot of young people face to face, their debt load and their finances. And like, you see some people that are really upside down and you're just like, holy crap. And they just are completely financially, monetarily illiterate. Maybe that's the right word. And it's sad because people don't get taught this stuff. And I meet a lot of entrepreneurs too, and you probably see this in your line of work, that they don't understand the money back end of it. I mean, we've interviewed guys on the show that they have crazy stories where they started their first company and they didn't understand, the payroll taxes and costs and that. And they're like, we were underbidding all the jobs and getting all the jobs, and we thought we were hot shit and we were making all this money, we thought, but we weren't, anticipating the back end of, paying Social Security and taxes and for the employees, and then all the different, things that come into the costs of the back end. And they were just thinking about, okay, money in and we got the job. So, yeah. And so I've had a few conversations where anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000 upside down. And the people are like, oh shit, we got to fix this. And they're able to dig themselves out, which is pretty amazing stories. But a lot of entrepreneurs don't get that. They ignore the financial aspect. And then they're like, why are we broke? Why are we going out of business? Why are we in bankruptcy? Why are we, struggling? We're not making any money. And they're just like, they haven't done the full math on what it really costs on the deep level of running a business.
Without a doubt. And it's scary, but it's also ultimately a thing that humans like to do. We try to do everything ourselves, right? I don't need to hire someone to do that. I got this. I'll figure it out. And in the business world, that is a very dangerous game to play. We all need a team. I'm sure you have a team for your show. I have a team for my show. I have a team for my business. If you don't have a team, you're not going to be really successful because there are so many moving parts to what we do that you need those people in line.
Yeah, you have to exponent yourself because you can't scale yourself. There's only so much time in the day, and there's only so much time you can do, and you have to exponent yourself and duplicate yourself and get people doing, especially when it comes to routine tasks that are just a waste of time. When you're a CEO or a business person, you've got to be looking at the big picture and be focused on stuff. You can't be like, making sure that the staples are in the stapler sort of thing. That's just not something that's a good use of time. But a lot of entrepreneurs have a hard time delegating. I have a hard time to this day. I've always had a hard time with it. You're just like, I care about it more than anyone else because it's my baby. And you're like, I'll just do a better job. And I know how to do it really quick. But then it's just a waste of time of your inefficiencies, and you can get caught up in stuff. But, such is the nature of ADD.
Which we all have, I swear.
It's the CEO entrepreneur disease. Yeah. It really is. It's a curse and a blessing at the same time. You just have to learn to manage it. Tell us about your podcast. You have a wealth podcast you advise people on as well.
Yeah, No BS Wealth podcast. I designed that, and that's launched. We're on our 76th episode coming out next week. And it was really designed around to bring no bullshit to the wealth side of things. Mm-hmm. I believe our media, a lot of our big heads, they always use big words and they don't get down to the root of who is involved and what decisions they're making. And so we bring in business owners, we bring in other CFPs, we bring in other experts just to come in and have a legitimate, unfiltered conversation with each other about their business, the topic, how they got there, and what really happens behind the scenes of a business and in life, as opposed to, everything we see on social media is always a facade. It's always positive. It's never being a business owner, because I say this a lot. Being a business owner sucks. Yeah. It does. But it's one of the most fulfilling things you can also have in the world as well.
Yeah, social media is really deceptive. I remember back when there used to be this thing called Foursquare, I think it was called. And people would check in at places. So when you went to the store, you're like, hey, I'm at the store. And you could win mayor and crap. It was kind of a weird little thing. But, people still do that. They take pictures of, hey, I'm in Hawaii, And no one ever takes pictures of themselves standing in front of the bankruptcy hall. Hey, I'm about to go file bankruptcy. Yay! Or, in front of the methadone clinic or the pawn shop or I don't know. I just can't think of any. It's despondent places. Nowhere takes pictures in front of those places. And yeah, I'm just down here filing bankruptcy, and I'm just out here moving out of my house that's being repossessed, and the sheriff's throwing everything on the lawn. You never see that on Instagram. What's going on there? So yeah, you need information, you need different data. It looks like you guys talk about everything on there. Transforming estate planning. Estate planning is really important to people. Mindset, marketing as always. This is kind of an interesting article or interview. Finding your athlete within. There you go. Mm-hmm. I have an athlete within. My athlete without is my biggest problem. Get on the treadmill, buddy.
Get off the couch, bud.
Get off the couch. But my brain is going, but I'm the internal athlete. I ran a marathon today. I'm tired now. So get on the treadmill, people. I was on it last night. Lots of great data that's there. What do you find motivates you a lot at starting your business, and then of course helping other people? What's the juice for you?
I really think it just comes down to, I think it comes from my mom, don't know where, how, or indifferent. I just feel like it was ingrained into me. But ultimately, I have this purpose of duty where I want to do right for others and lift them up as much as possible. Mm-hmm. I just have that natural. It's just something that happens. Mm-hmm. And that really what drives me every day, because there's so much negative things that go on in the world or business and you name it, that I feel like someone needs to have someone in their court to help them through it. We don't all have the answers, but we all can get the answers and get help. And those that don't have the ability to do so are the ones that get taken advantage of. And I just always feel like I want to be there for the underdog. I wanted to help them through.
There you go. It's one of those things that's so great about being an entrepreneur. You're solving people's problems. You're giving back. You're helping people achieve their goals. As a business owner, there's only so much you can know. Like even now, there's stuff I don't know about financial stuff, which is surprising to me that all these years. But I mean, all the shit I've had to deal with running corporations all my life. I know a lot about law and lawyers and suing
how they operate.
Collecting money and it's owed to you and all that sort of stuff. Sadly, I really didn't want to know any of that, but it's one of those factors of being successful. I know a lot about accounting and bookkeeping, but tax rules change like all the time. It seems like every year I think they've got some sort of new tax things you got to deal with. And wealth building, estate building, trusts, there's just an endless amount of stuff you can know, and really you just can't deal with it. You guys do one-on-one consulting for life insurance, disability insurance, health insurance, long-term care insurance, and supplemental insurance. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So overall insurance it's needed, right? It's important, specifically, life insurance, and with health costs, you better have some health insurance. And ultimately with those, there are a caveat to the overall plan, right? Mm-hmm. Some people don't know what they have as an employee benefit or whatnot. And so we want to make sure that they're protected and covered. My background comes from the insurance side, so there's no way I'd get rid of it. Mm-hmm. But it's not the most important thing in someone's plan. The plan dictates what we do next. Sometimes that means life insurance first. Sometimes that means health insurance. For others, it means disability. But it's understanding how those fit into your overall plan and your goals that matter the most. Everyone says you should have all of it. It's not necessarily true. Everyone's situation is different, and you need to make sure that it's for you and what's best for your family, not just because you saw it on, some media coverage or you saw it on TikTok that, hey, your life insurance can turn into a bank. Yes, in theory, sure, but it's not for everybody.
Yeah. Plus, you got to pay into it for a long time to have anything in there that's worth it. It's not like you're like, hey, I made payment 1. Can I borrow 50 grand now?
No, but TikTok makes you think that way. I promise.
I know. It's just everything's in Instagram too. It's like the short game. Like there's some financial advisor the other day. He's like, here's how to get rich and get $1 million. Okay, you go out and you buy 10 homes. And there was some financial trollers that they actually do their business of trolling some of these kind of crazy videos. And the guy's like, where are you getting the money to buy 10 homes? Just, he's giving advice to young people, Gen Zers, on how to get to be $1 million net worth. You just go buy 10 homes and rent them out. And you're just like, where the Gen Zers go, 50,000, 70, whatever it is, I don't know, in college debt. Like,
where are they getting lending?
Where's he getting this 10 homes money?
Right.
And these 10 homes, and it's always a boomer or Gen Xer. I guess I'll throw some shit at my generation. It's always a Gen Xer telling them, and we had homes that you could buy for 40 grand back in the day. So we're just like, buy 10 homes. And 10 of those homes in my generation is one home. So there you go.
Absolutely.
But insurance, life insurance, disability insurance are really important because most entrepreneurs are the core of their business. Right. And if anything happens to them, disability, they're taken out, they pass away, there's usually not backup for them. And so, being covered by insurance, being covered for their family, if they have a wife and kids, is really important because, if you get disabled as a business and you're the key person, especially like a blue collar business where you can get, you have a high risk of injury on the job, that can make a big difference. There you go. You guys handle investment strategies, so you sit down with people and help them as to what they should do with their investments, accounts in the market, et cetera. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, and I'll actually lead off with, I believe investments are a crock overall. Investments make up a very small piece of your entire plan, and our industry loves just to put everything in investments. Invest this, get your return this, and all of that. My thing is, and I say it all the time, quote me all the time, if you, Chris, was like, hey, I can get you $1 billion return. Awesome. That's fantastic. But I have $0 to put in. Guess what? It's still zero. So if I can't focus to get money in, then there's no point in investing. But so we take that philosophy and we try to manipulate people's opinion on it. And I say it that way specifically because investments aren't just stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Mm-hmm. Investments are real estate, foreign currency. And my favorite one is you as a person.
Yeah.
You have to recognize that you as a person needs an investment, both in your health, both mentally and physically. And overall, your well-being of happiness matter too. And I feel like our industry does a bad job at correlating and putting that into the investment plan. We only stick to the equity market.
Ah, there you go. So no Bitcoin?
I'm not into the crypto. I got some friends who do a lot of that. I don't have the brain power apparently to get behind it.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to, it's really a guesstimate. You can't go off of earnings. You can't go off of revenue, there's certain valuations that companies have, stock markets have. And so it's pretty much, I think it's pretty much pure speculation, really.
Yeah.
There might be some little news, but it's really pure speculation, which makes it such a high risk thing. But you're right. A lot of entrepreneurs have to invest in themselves. Most of my investment money either goes to a new business, a new venture, or is being reinvested in the current company. So, and that's really where your growth really is, because if you're good, you can beat that, 20% per annum you're shooting for in the stock market, and you can double and triple your money, if not exponent it even more, depending upon what you're doing and how hard you're working. So, but making sure that's effective, like some of the things we've talked about. Are you doing your books right? Are you doing your financial planning right? Are you managing everything right? So important. So what about you and your business and your services have we talked about that we need to tease out to people to get talking to you?
Yeah. The other one is just overall consulting. I'm here. I'm an entrepreneur too. I have other businesses, and it's ultimately I'm here to help. And I feel specifically in my industry, of course, I keep saying that because I know it, but it's also just sometimes we don't do things that are very intelligent. We don't communicate and have open conversations with people. These podcasts have been great. I have my own, it's helping, but you don't see a lot of us just have an open conversation with people in any open forum because usually they're scared of compliance for some reason. We're live today. My compliance seems like just don't guarantee people things. Awesome. Cool. I'm on it. We should be able to have open conversations and be real and not hide behind that falter. And I believe a lot of it is because a lot of us are not comfortable within our own selves and understand our own plan to be just open and frank with people. And that's the no bullshit approach I'm bringing is just, hey, let's have a conversation. You want help? I'll answer it. Now, if we get into details of your plan, yeah, you're going to have to pay for an hourly fee for that or something. But generic stuff that you can Google, yeah, let's have a conversation.
Definitely. You need to get in the depth because, most of the stuff you find when you Google it is just kind of the top level, top of the iceberg sort of stuff. And you're like, well, how do I get from there to here? And so that makes it have a conversation. So any advice on people that you can give on people that run their own businesses, people that are looking for success? What are some of the things you see people struggling with now in most of your clients when they come to you and you're like, hey, here, we'll fix this problem for you?
The biggest thing is the pure chaos and disorganization of everything, right? And obviously from a business perspective, you had spoke about it, is we wear a lot of different hats, from legal to accounting to just staffing to actually getting sales. There's so many different things a business owner has to deal with, that then also you need to do that as a personal side of things too. And they usually forget one or the both. And it's ultimately all that organization. You need to sit down and look at all of it as a big picture and step away from the nitty gritty, down knees deep into the sand type of stuff. And that's where I say you need to take that first step in figuring out how to build a team, or hiring someone to help you hire a legitimate team. And when I mean team, I don't mean like internal, more staff for you. I mean experts on the outside that can come together and help you within that, whether it's CPAs, bookkeepers, financial planners, attorneys, etc. You need to start to build that team to help you through. And the first thing is just take the first step. And if it's a call to me, do it.
There you go. There you go. Well, tell people how they can onboard with you, utilize your services, and get in touch and learn more about you.
Absolutely. Go ahead and go to blackmammoth.com. We have a nice little process there. There's a couple of videos, depending what service you want to hit upon. And you just schedule directly with me in my calendar. And then we go through it. We have a nice little chat. If you aren't ready for that next step, go ahead and hit up all the social medias. I'm everywhere except for Reddit because they kicked me off. Go ahead and do all of those. Follow my stuff and comment, and I'll be there for you.
There you go. And listen to the podcast as well. Get that
absolutely
there for you.
No BS Wealth Podcast. Come check us out.
There you go. Thanks for coming on the show, Stoy. We really appreciate it. It's been very insightful, and hopefully you motivated some entrepreneurs. Get off your butts and get everything straight in your financial life. It's really important.
Yep. Get on the treadmill. Let's go.
There you go. Get on the treadmill. I love it. Thanks for tuning into my audience. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1, the TikTokity, and Chris Voss Facebook.com. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time. All right, man.